going on, everyone? Gormy back here with another video for FMBase. Today we are going to be talking about a asymmetric tactic that I find to be very, very good, especially for those lower top league sides. So say for like a Norwich or Watford, which we tested with both today, they did pretty well with this tactic. So it's definitely able to be used with any type of club that you are looking to manage. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button? I will be linking this tactic to download down below in the description. That is where you guys will be able to find it. It will take you over to our website, which is where you guys will be able to find not only this tactic, but many other tactics. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So like I said, tested this with Norwich and Watford, tested with 3 teams in the Premier League, tested with Liverpool, who won the league on 95 points with a 99 goal differential. They only lost 3 games as well. Then we tested with Norwich, like I said. They finished in a European spot on 66 points. And then Watford finished in 11th on 43 points. And both teams, in reality, both got relegated a majority of the time. When you do tactic tests or you were playing through your save, these 2 clubs get relegated a majority of the time. But this tactic allowed Watford to basically finish mid-table and Norwich to finish in a European spot, which I know plenty of Norwich fans would be absolutely ecstatic about. But one major thing I would like to highlight with this tactic is that the teams can score, especially if you have a very good team. As you can see here with Liverpool, 130 goals within the Premier League is absolutely insane. Norwich finished in 7th. They were 2nd in goals. And Watford, who finished in 11th, they were joint 4th in goals with Man U. Liverpool with 130, Norwich 79, Watford with 71. Another thing about this tactic is that it allows you to win the ball back a majority of the time, and it is pretty defensive, not going to lie. Liverpool finishing top with tackles won with 717, Watford with 1 less at 716, and Norwich with a few less than that at 709. It is also pretty good at getting shots away, so you will have a high amount of shots, as you guys can see up here. Liverpool almost had 1,000 shots. So if you have a really good team, you'll be on the much higher end of the shot spectrum. But Norwich and Watford, they still both had over 600 shots each. And then most dribbles made, Watford and Norwich both finished in most dribbles made, whereas Liverpool did not. Watford had 445 and Norwich had 404. Now when it comes to the player overview, Mo Salah had 34 goals in the league. Next highest was Lukaku and Harry Kane, both at 21. Diogo Jota also had 18. And Liverpool dominated things like the goals, assists, shots, player of the matches, whereas Norwich and Watford, they dominated key passes, tackles won, dribbles made. For assists, Mo Salah had 14, Trent Alexander-Arnold with 13, Jordan Henderson with 12, Imran Louza with 12, and Kieran Dowell also with 12. Most player of the match performances, Trent Alexander-Arnold with 7 and Mo Salah with 6. Trent Alexander-Arnold is really good within this tactic, and a majority of the time he does earn himself one of the top 8 spots for the player of the match. Key passes, most key passes was actually by Billy Gilmore with 139, Mo Salah with 131, Trent Alexander-Arnold with 119, and Imran Louza with 117. Most tackles won, we've got Max Aarons in there at 103, Hassan Kamara with 101, Brandon Williams with 97, and Francisco Ciralta, I think is how you say it, with 91. And those are, I believe, the wingback duos from both Norwich City and Watford. Most dribbles made, it was only one player from the 3 clubs, but Emmanuel Denis with 100 dribbles made. Pretty solid. I mean, finishing above the likes of a lot of very gifted technical players. Not easy to do, and Emmanuel Denis made it look very easy. And then fewest conceded, Alisson only conceded 25 goals. So If you have one of those upper echelon type teams with this tactic, you're going to blow the opposition out of the water. I mean, Liverpool had a 99 goal differential. They won the league pretty easily. They look very, very good so far between the team and player overview. But Norwich City and Watford both look absolutely incredible as well so far. Let's look at the tactic now. So this tactic is called the Promise 9. And the reason why it's called a Promise 9 is because there's a false 9 up top. False 9, I'm really starting to like. I think it's a very, very underrated role to use. And in this tactic, there are some pretty underrated roles everywhere. You got the false 9 up top, inverted wingers on attack on the wings, a roaming playmaker in defense, and then inverted wingbacks on attack. Now, inverted wingbacks on attack, they've been very good all year this year. Roaming playmaker, also pretty solid. The inverted winger on attack has become more prominent in tactics lately as well. But getting things started off up top, we've got a false 9 on support, would take more risks, dribble more, shoot less often, move into channels, and tackle harder. Then we move to the left inverted winger. We've got take more risks, cross left often, shoot less often, sit narrower, and tackle harder. And on the right inverted winger on attack, we've got take more risks, cross less often, shoot less often, sit narrower, tackle harder. Shadow striker on attack, shoot less often, tackle harder. Central midfielder on attack, take more risks, dribble more, shoot less often, move into channels, tackle harder. Roaming playmaker on support, take more risks, dribble more, shoot less often, move into channels, tackle harder, mark tighter. Inverted wingback on attack on the left side has take more risks, dribble more, shoot less often, get further forward, tackle harder. Inverted wingback on attack, take more risks, dribble more, shoot less often, get further forward, tackle harder. And then the ball-playing defender on defend on the left side has dribble more, shoot less often, stay wider, tackle harder. Ball-playing defender on defend on the right side has dribble more, shoot less often, stay wider, tackle harder. And the sweep keeper on support was left as is. Now, a couple things I would like to highlight. As you can see, you got shoot less often on basically every single role within this tactic if it wasn't already set to it automatically. Now, I guess you could say the past couple weeks, I have been trying to figure out, okay, does shoot less often, shoot more often, or leaving it as is make more of a difference? I feel shoot less often will allow your players to have more, I guess, ideal shot selection. So I would definitely leave it on for all of these. But if you want to take it off and you're struggling to score, maybe put shoot more often on, or just take it off, let them go as is without either instruction on. But that is one that I wanted to hit on. Another one that is on the inverted wingbacks is take more risks. I think it's on a couple others as well. Take more risks, I've noticed, is very good in this year's FM. So I would suggest, even if you aren't using this tactic, definitely try and implement that into your tactics. It is a very underrated thing to use because you will generate plenty more opportunities for your side. Now, getting into the mentality, it is played with a positive mentality, but you can definitely go attacking, very attacking. Lowest I would go is cautious. Balance, probably use against the likes, if you're in Norwich, you use against a Liverpool type team. But being that they're going to be in Europe, they will definitely be playing against other bigger sides as well. I know that it's just a conference league, but still, they would be playing against potentially big sides. Then, once in possession, it is played fairly wide. Pass into space and play out from the defense. You work the ball into the box with low crosses, slightly shorter passing directness, and extremely high tempo. When in transition, counter press, counter, and roll the ball out either to a playmaker, fullbacks, or the center backs. And then once out of possession, use offside trap, much higher line of engagement in a standard defensive line, and force the opposition to the outside. Much more often trigger press, aka much more often pressing intensity, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. If you are struggling with cards, you can put stay on feet on. That'll allow your team to try and win the ball back in a much more smart manner. But if you are wanting to win the ball back even more and have your players get stuck in, definitely feel free to give that a go. But I would suggest going with stay on feet over get stuck in. Now, looking at how the three teams did overall in all competitions, looking at Norwich, very, very balanced numbers. They've got 4 players scoring double digits. Timu Puki with 14, Billy Gilmore with 13, Kieran Dowell with 12, and Milo Rashika with 11. Next highest after that was Adam Ida with 7. And then assist-wise, you get 3 players double digits. Kieran Dowell with 13, Milo Rashika with 11, and Billy Gilmore with 10. Next highest after that was Christos Solis with 8. But everyone was trying to contribute in every way that they possibly could, and the average ratings were pretty solid. You got plenty, 7.0 and above. Billy Gilmore was the best performer for Norwich City this season with a 7.32 average rating. And I mean, 13 goals, 10 assists from a lone player, I think Norwich would definitely take. Looking at Watford, we've got 3 players with double-digit goals. Joshua King with 14, Musa Sissoko with 12, Ismail Yassar with 11, and Juraj Kucha, I think is how you say it, with 8. And then assist-wise, we only got 1 double digits, and that is Imran Louza with 13, but Hassan Kamara with 8, Joshua King with 7. Next highest after them was Emmanuel Denis, and Kuchka, we're going Kuchka. They both had 6. But average rating wise, not like it was at Norwich, but still some pretty solid performance. Joshua King was the top performer for Watford. And now we move on to the big boys at Liverpool, which not only did they win the league, they also won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, got to a semifinal in the Champions League. They're the only team that got any silverware or made a deep run. I think that allowed Watford and Norwich City to have the seasons that they did because they weren't focusing on the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. They got knocked out of those. I wouldn't say pretty early, but kind of around the mid-stage point in both competitions. And it allowed them to finish where they did because they didn't have to worry about playing a few more games. But Liverpool, Mo Salah with 42 goals in all competitions. Thiago Jota with 23. Virgil van Dijk with 15, probably those set pieces. Roberto Firmino with 15, Sadio Mane with 13, Curtis Jones with 12, Luis Diaz with 11, Oxlade-Chamberlain with 11, and Trent Alexander-Arnold with 10. The amount of double-digit goals for a team like Liverpool, I mean, yes, they are one of the best teams in the game, one of the best teams in the world, but with this tactic, if you have a top echelon team, definitely give it a go because that is absurd to have that many players having double-digit goals. And then assist-wise, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold with 27, Mo Salah with 22, Hendo with 14, Andy Robertson with 13, Sadio Mane, Joe Gomez, and Curtis Jones all with 11, James Milner with 10. And average rating-wise, there were 3 players that did not have a 7.0 or above. And I would say, yeah, Luis Diaz is the one that played the most out of them. He had a 6.97, so almost on that 7.0. But, I mean, this team was absolutely insane. Trent Alexander-Arnold rocking a 7.77. By far and away the best player for Liverpool in this season. Mo Salah, though, had a 7.64, 42 goals, and outperformed his XG, which was only supposed to be 36. Trent Alexander-Arnold underperformed his XG, which is kind of surprising. But Virgil van Dijk also overperforming that XG. But being that we've taken a look at the player overview, team overview, and how the squads did overall, see how they do within the match. Well, this tactic looks very, very good. I mean, Watford looked phenomenal against Wolves, and then you got Norwich also looking phenomenal in their match. And I mean, Liverpool, they made it look pretty easy against Man City, which is not easy to do. Now, I was looking at the schedule, and Watford had a major dip in form. If they did not have the major dip in form, I think they also would have qualified for Europe. So if there had been someone actually managing game in, game out throughout this test, I think that Watford, Norwich, and Liverpool all would have finished in European spots, and Liverpool won a treble as well. So this tactic, I mean, it is absolutely phenomenal. Highly suggest you guys give it a go. Once again, it will be linked down in the description. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button? And until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.